I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
What you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through
Welcome to the RBC Dominion Securities Western Canadian Showdown. We're very proud to sponsor this event for our community and surrounding area. We wish everyone good curling and best of luck.
Hello and welcome to Swift Current. My name is Rory McCusker, live streaming for Curling Stadium Live, and I am a one-man band this afternoon. That's right, no commentary partner, no camera operator, it is just me and you, curling audience, watching Brad Gushue take on Ethan Sampson, the United States of America. Lead rocks just finishing up. Not the second's first stone. Dealing with a bit of glitchiness out there, I can see. We'll try to get that addressed, but like I said, my name's Rory McCusker. It's just you and I, curling audience. Just going to check and see. I'm checking Curling Zone to see how the tournament's been going for both these teams. If you don't know the website Curling Zone, you do now. That's all live scores, team information, tournament information. It is your one-stop curling website. Team Sampson, another Chaska, Minnesota team. I ventured down there this summer, visited Chaska Curling Center. Beautiful facility. It's where a lot of the U.S. high-performance training happens. Ice around all months of the year. There's ice out there. A few clubs actually in Minnesota have ice all year. Very jealous as I visit our American friends. Kind of newer curling facilities. Lots of excitement around the game. It's a fun time. If you can ever go to a curling event or even just visit a curling club in the USA, I would highly recommend it. It's fun little change up in curling culture and really exciting fun stuff. Few rocks in play so far. Of the games I've done this weekend, there's been a lot of first ends with a good amount of action. Not a lot of classic kind of blank and move on first ends. No, these have been rocks in play, a couple guards being thrown. Teams are getting right into it, which is awesome news for us, the audience. So we get more fun curling even quicker. Trying to get all of our tech ironed out. Cameras are looking a little less choppy now, so okay. I feel like I'm doing a good job. That's what a lot of this ends up being at Curling Stadium, just getting better and better as the game and the week goes on. Similar to these curling teams, that's their exact goal as well. Every game, just get a little sharper, learn the ice a little better. Team Gushue's only played one game so far. I covered that. That was against Pierce out of British Columbia. That was an incredibly entertaining game. Probably the most exciting first end I've ever seen was in that Gushue Pierce game. You can easily go back on YouTube and watch Gushue's first game out here. He ended up taking the loss to Team Pierce, who played exceptionally well. Coming deep there, Team Gushue. It's a bad miss because now Sampson can really fill the forefoot and have kind of two powerful rocks along the center line, that low center guard, and then a good one in the forefoot. Gushue's got some biters though. That's what. Oh, sorry, those are Yellowstones. So Sampson, a few rocks on in the 12-foot. Choosing to ignore this Gushue stone in the back 8. Speaking of USA Curling, Curling Stadium covers all the U.S. national events. We're very familiar with a lot of these teams and the style of play. I find American teams very aggressive without hammer, always trying to bring things to the middle, taking a little more risk with ignoring opponent's stones, really just putting the onus on themselves to make the good shot that will turn the end in their favor. So once again, had an opportunity to lie 3, but choose to draw around the center guard. Really well-made shot. Totally buried. I think Brad knows he wants to peel. He's just deciding if there's any way to get a little greedy with it and maybe chip that red stone into the rings. This is pretty wide ice, so he might be playing a kind of softer weight, peel and roll kind of shot. That's what it looks like. That looks like control weight to me. See what Team Gushue can get out of this. Blows by. Not very much risk in trying it that way. You know you're going to get the center guard, worst case, so maybe try to chip something else in on your way by. Appreciate the effort, but now Team Sampson's going to make that stone even better. Wrong button. Oh, in my rush to get set up, I think I put the hammer wrong. I did. Well, that changes everything, doesn't it? Oh, no, just had two more. Too many rocks. Not nearly as bad of a mistake. But you'll forgive me, I hope. Try to get every inch of curl out of that guard. 2 sweepers are. Doesn't quite get deep enough, doesn't quite get far enough over. Yellowstone is available. And it is always tough, especially in the first end, to guard a specific stone in the rings. I think it's much easier to draw around a guard. You can manipulate the sweeping a lot easier. The path is more natural. You can kind of decide when it's going to stop. Guarding a specific stone in the rings, I think You got to really nail the broom and manage the sweep just perfectly. Trying to get to a very small area of the ice. Makes the tap, rolls it a little bit, no double. I think that's a pretty darn good shot. Perhaps ideal would have been rolling all the way around those corners, but I think Gushue is perfectly happy with that. Pretty tough hit and roll through the port. Yeah, you have to throw this out turn. So the rock's kind of curling through the port at the wrong angle. The staggered port has to kind of cross it, the awkward way. Wreck on either of these guards is going to be an open draw for 3 for Brad. So big shot early on here. Team Sampson. Last stone in the first end, facing a pretty scary situation. Ethan Sampson hit and roll through the port. Sweeper's off it for now. Looks like it's by the top one. Looks really nice. Gets the hit. Oh, just doesn't quite roll as far as they wanted. I think that had just really nice board weight. May have surprised them a little bit with how little it ended up rolling. Just didn't have a lot of momentum to roll off a Gushue stone. Threw it perfect. Just needed to sweep it a little bit more. So a very similar shot to Brad. This one's more of a natural jam, though. He'll have to be really careful with what weight he throws. Wonder if you'd ever try to curl all the way around and get to inside of nose. Probably easier just to hit about half of it with good heavy hack weight. Got to make sure you score 1 here, though. Brad Gushue's last in the first end. Chance for 2. Not an easy chance, though. Jeff is on this one hard. Over curling a bit. Get by the back one. No, it jams straight on the back one. That's all right, though. A single point for Gushue. He'll be happy with that. So will Team Sampson. So fairly successful force here in the first end. Gushue will fight back, 1-up without hammer when we return.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind, from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep
Welcome back to Swift Current, Saskatchewan, about 2.5 hours west of Regina on the Trans-Canada Highway, maybe 4 hours away from Calgary. My name is Rory McCusker. We've got Brad Gushue, Ethan Sampson. Pretty fun first end. Lots of rocks in play. Gushue with the corner and Sampson with the center guard, so both teams kind of getting after it early. This will be Ethan Sampson's third game of the tournament. They are 1-1. Meeting in the B event. Gushue dropped his first game to end up here. Lead rock thrower Marius Cleanus for Team Sampson. Perhaps intentionally coming to the back, red. Either way, heavy. Gonna chip off. Stays shot rock in the back of the 8-foot, and with hammer, that's a fine shot. We've seen over and over again those rocks kind of being ignored, but then later in the end, they become much more important. Without hammer, when you sail into the back of the rings there, no, that's a mistake. All that's going to do is catch your opponent's stones as you try to remove them. So it's funny, when you're playing to the middle here, you have so much more room for forgiveness with hammer. Even though the objective without hammer is to bring play to the middle and throw center guards, it's much more delicate in what you can and cannot do. Can't tick your own center guard, that's for sure. Don't want to come deep. Whereas with hammer, you're allowed to do all of those things, and it's still helpful to your end building strategy. So that's why it's so much easier to play to the middle with hammer. I think it's a good time to check in with the chat. Haven't had many messages in the chat so far. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, how long you've been curling. It's just fun to meet new people in the chat on these streams. So on YouTube, love to hear from you. Got 700 watching right now, coast to coast in Canada, I'm sure, and around the world. The Gushue gang, one of the most devoted fandoms in any Canadian sport, I think, is Brad Gushue. Team Gushue fans. They travel well, they're very loud, and they always come to support their boy. I can even see in Swift Current, there's quite a few people behind this sheet. They're lining up behind the glass to get their look at one of the best teams in the world, easily one of the most famous teams in the world. Come around here from Botcher's curling really hard. Big sweep gets it by the center guard. It's going to end up a little light of the rings. It's still in a really useful position for Team Gushue. Those are lined up, though. At least two of those reds leave the rings, maybe all three. These are the type of shots that a second rock thrower would spend hours in the rink practicing. Straight run back of centerline stones. Jacob Zeman throwing second rocks. He's going to get the top one. Something's going to move. 1, 2, 3 stones move. That's a really excellent result. Kicks their yellow rock back. A bit of a unlucky thing, but got 2 red rocks off the center line. Left their own yellow, which isn't the greatest, and left 1 red, but still great result. Team Sampson. Just so you know, we are aware of those kind of funny-looking glitches. It's a bit of a complex issue, but we always get things ironed out day after day. So we're working on it. And thanks so much for supporting Curling Stadium. This is all an effort to bring you, the fans, free curling on YouTube. Bringing the teams more support and recognition. Ooh, Mark's not happy. You don't really see him react like that very often. Swipe of the broom. Doesn't love where he put that stone. Him and Botcher will talk about it for a bit. Try to understand what happened there and how they're going to make it better the next one. Leaves the door open for an outturn draw, Team Sampson. I thought they might clear the middle again, choosing to play into this overlapped center guard scenario. Getting late enough in the end that they know that there's only going to be so many chances for Team Gushue to respond. Line looks really good. Another deep draw. This path is getting quick. You'll see this happen on curling ice fairly often once you have, half dozen or so rocks down a certain path, especially when you throw 2 or 3 in a row down the same path. It just seems to get really polished and quick. Definitely in the first 5 or 6 ends that is the case. So we've got a bit of a toboggan path here, as I've heard it called. Maybe I made that up. Who knows? Mark's going to make his draw, though. Really nice line. Depth is really good. Maybe a touch deeper than they wanted, but he'll be happy with that. They finally made their draw. Oh, rock is away. Big sweep. This looks light. Not going to get there. Third rock thrower Coleman Thurston aware that this path is getting very quick. But I guess just a little bit of an over-adjustment. Leaves it high, and with hammer, that is not the miss. It's an overlap guard. You can't run it back. It's only going to add to Brad Gushue's kind of treasure pile in the forefoot if he can make this draw. And we've seen this turn curling so much. Brad should have no problem getting this fully buried behind the yellow guards to lie. 2 points, a very dangerous 2 points. Not a lot of time for Ethan Sampson to respond. Only 2 rocks remain per team. Gushue's first stone. Good chance to really go for the throat here in the second end. And even Gushue can't avoid throwing this deep. That's the miss we've seen all end long. Stays for second shot, so eliminates some danger from Team Sampson, but that was a really good opportunity to put a good one in the top four, right on the center line, and almost deny Team Sampson's ability to score a point. That's sailing deep. It's going to give Team Sampson some backing for this draw. Of course, if they come all the way back there, they'll have missed. They need to get this shot stone right on the side of the button. Pretty specific shot. But Sampson has made some good ones so far. Only missed his guard by a little bit. Threw a perfect hit and roll on his second shot in the first end. Bit of a miss sweep kept in the open, but third shot of the game for Ethan Sampson, and it as well is not an easy one. Sweepers are signaling up. That's not what you want to hear in this spot. There's that curl, really biting. Wonder if the weight came off it as well. They will get it by the top guard. Will they get shot stone out of this? Just kept sweeping it around the guard. Couldn't quite make a decision if they wanted to go around the red or sit on the top. Or maybe the weight just tricked them. Either way, that's a missed sweep from Team Sampson. Definitely should have been carving that to get it on the red stone. Instead, they're going to leave a really good pocket for Team Gushue. Again, though, I think the perfect spot for this stone, Mark's going to tap, he's going to show us, is right on the top of the button, right where you see that S3 logo. Brad Gushue wasting no time, getting right in the hack to throw this important last stone of the second end without hammer. Sweeper's really working on it. I bet they can drag it here on this path. Everything's been sailing here. Can they get it a little deeper? Really sweeping it all the way back. I'm a little surprised by that. May have left the pin open. It's a great result either way. I guess they just wanted it to curl a little more. Just kind of testing with his broom to see if there's enough room to draw in for one. At this point, you really got to cut Team Gushue down. You have to put a yellow rock on the button there. Even if you don't score one, at least to just give up one. Seems to be not taking too much more ice than his first rock. I'd be afraid of this over curling. Depends what weight he throws, I suppose, but it's a pretty specific shot. Last stone facing two really good Gushue counters. Ethan Sampson, second end. Sweeping to make this curl. Looks like more than enough weight. They have to play this pretty close to the center. Good bit of room. Swinging now. Oh, they're definitely not shot rock. Are they even second? Really tough to say. One red for sure. They will kick him off. So some decision was made. I didn't catch it, but Gushue scores at least one in the second.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bond in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Here we go. Swift Current, Saskatchewan. It's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. The whole town is here to watch Brad Gushue play Ethan Sampson. And, of course, all the other great curling on the ice. Third rock of the end on its way down. A little bit of off-center guard, didn't quite get the curl there. That was the side curling a ton for Team Gushue in the second end. Perhaps they were thinking they would get the same going away, but that's not always the case. Turns out it was a steal of 2 for Brad Gushue. Now leading 3-0. Pretty comfortable spot for Team Gushue. They are quite good with a lead. Botcher's first stone. I always love watching the 5th rock at the end. With the 5 rock free guard zone, the 5th stone, when you're trying to play defensive, it gets very interesting because you can't really peel any guards. And if the opposition has made their draw good, you can't really chase it either. So this 5th rock at the end that forever in curling we would see just be an instant peel or hit, you now have to do something a little more creative with. Have to put it in a spot where it can't hurt you. Not a lot of spots are going to help you a ton. That one where Brendan got to does definitely help. Yeah, it's a new kind of change in the way that seconds are used, the second rock thrower, I should say. First stone becomes much more important. Wonder if Botcher's had to kind of speed up his hack routine. Transitioning from skip, that's actually one of the not the hardest but most significant changes to throwing the other stones. That the shots themselves, you know, a shot is a shot. Like throw it at the broom, throw the right weight. The shot making doesn't change too much, but the way you approach the hack and you know, not being able to see the angles in the house before throwing, that's a big adjustment. So I wonder how Brendan's been doing with that, what his teammates think and what he thinks about all that. I doubt he would tell us straight up in an interview, but it's just one of the fun parts about watching Team Gushue this year is seeing how Brendan's fitting in and how the other players on the team are adjusting to it as well. We've seen Brad readily call on Brendan to view the house and make tactical decisions and his opinion on those things. As a result, we've seen kind of Mark Nichols take a bit of a step back in a communication role. Jeff Walker managing the sweeps, you know, taking control of that decision making. He's gotten a little more of a voice, Jeff Walker, I think, and this last season. It's been a treat for us fans to watch this team evolve. Let me know in the chat what you think the most interesting part of this Brendan Botcher transition has been. I know there's a lot of Gushue fans watching this dynamic very closely. I want to know what you guys have seen. Just taking this opportunity to check the chat again, seeing some accounts chime in. Karen Babitsky, she said hello from Cypress Hills, Sask. Karen, if you're in Cypress Hills, get on the highway, get on down to Swift Current. That's where the party is. Warmed up in Saskatchewan today. It'll get almost 0 degrees, even degrees today. That's a huge change from the minus 28 we were looking at a few days ago. But it should be a fantastic Saturday afternoon in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Anyone who's at the rink would know men's and women's teams and a lot of locals coming to watch. We can see behind the glass. This is the most popular game in town. The cameras are just a little too glitchy right now to try moving them around, but I wish I could show the upstairs. I'm sure it's just as packed. And let's actually take this opportunity to take a look at the whole rink. There we go. Look at the stands out on the ice. Woohoo! Totally packed. Love to see it. Too bad for these guys. The Gushue game is at the very, very far end, right on sheet 6. So not the best view, but lots of good curling to be watched today. Makes a straight run back, Coleman Thurston. That's going to help a bit. Still have that yellow stone completely buried underneath the yellow guard. And you know what? There's so much game left. Brad is not going to go kind of ultra defensive and peel the guard knowing he'll have an open hit on the next one. They are going to draw another one around this center guard, daring Team Sampson to make another run back. That's a good, confident call. Shows that Team Gushue's on top of the ice conditions, and they're feeling confident in the draw paths and their weight. Jeff Walker on the inside, sweeping this. Looks like they have to go for weight. And are they going to get it there? We'll wait to see the overhead. Oh, looks like just barely they get shot rock. Well, it's a big sweep, but a bit of a misjudge. Brandon waited a long time before joining in to sweep that thing for distance. Coleman just threw this shot. Hopefully he's still got his bearings for a run back. This one with a little softer weight. Making sure they want to stick the runner. This is going to overcurl by a lot. So a bit of a wasted chance. That guard, I would imagine, is going to become red. Oh, no, this looks like ice to draw straight into the ring. Slide 2. Brad's not super interested in stealing this end. He wants a force to 1 would be his ideal. I guess a steal would be welcomed, but they're not going to risk too much to go for that steal if it means leaving a shot for 2. So Brad will do everything he can to make sure there is no shot for 2. That's objective number 1. Brad's first stone in this third end. See Mark tapping his broom on the side of the forefoot, reminding the sweepers of how deep this has to go. Don't want to leave it double, that's for sure. There we go. That's deep enough. There'll be no shooter double. Comes just a little bit deep. Ice is looking fairly pathy. There's, different speeds for different paths. The only reason I'm saying that is the sweepers seem to be getting tricked quite a bit depending on where the rock is headed down the sheet. Sometimes it's light, sometimes it's heavy. Third end, still kind of breaking the ice down from side to side. And you can see Brad communicating with the team. This is a team that does not like losing and really refuses to give up or accept a slump. Very rarely will you see Team Gushue lose 2 games in a row. I actually can't remember the last time I saw it. So with the loss yesterday and the long break, from then until today, they will be dialed right in, focused on getting a win today. Ethan Sampson, another soft weight, hack through the hole. Really nice throw. He's made a few of those today. Made him look easy too. Taps it just far enough to get the third shot. That is beautiful. It's as good as you could ask for. Brad will have to answer and have to traverse the same port. And ideally give this rock just a tiny little tap. But even if he just kind of sits right on the nose of it, that's nothing wrong with that. I guess the more you tap that Yellowstone, the more risky it is that you leave a kind of angle tap for 2 for Team Sampson. So maybe just right on the nose is the best result here. Team Gushue on sheet 6, a little far away from our in-house microphone, picking up just the ambient audio of the arena, so can't quite hear what they're saying, except for some sweet calls here and there. Gotta make sure this gets through the hole. Weight looks pretty good. It's through the port. Will it get far enough? Ooh. It's pretty good. They may have left enough of the forefoot, though, for Team Sampson to draw around that red in the top 12 and snag just over half of the forefoot. Will score 2. So came up just a bit light. This is the last stone of the third end. Down 3, already lying 1. Team Sampson looking to leap back into this game with a score of 2. We'll see how this comes in. They need a full half of the forefoot. They are there. Beautifully swept, well managed. They get way more than enough for 2 points. Team Sampson with a really nice effort. It's a 1-point game. Gushue with hammer in the 4th.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.
It is the fourth end here in Swift Current, RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. This is the fourth edition of the Western Showdown, and I am proud to say Curling Stadium has streamed all four. This is our first major international event that Curling Stadium took on to stream. This is the first time we went on YouTube and coordinated commentary and put extra cameras out there, mic'd the ice so we could hear the players. It was a really fun experiment for James Gordon and I, another Curling Stadium operator. And here we are, 3 years later, for the fourth annual. And this event as well has gotten bigger and bigger. A very good example of how Curling Stadium and live streamed tournaments can really help build your event and your club into a premier event in the world. I mean, this is only the fourth edition, and through the hard work of the ice makers and the club manager and us at Curling Stadium, it's easily one of the top, gotta say 5 tour events outside of the slams in Canada every year. Men's and women's teams from all over the world. And a nice little weekend to sit back, relax, and watch curling. I know we got the holidays coming up. Maybe everyone's doing some last-minute Christmas shopping, but I know there's a lot of people having kind of quiet weekends at home, just getting ready for the holidays. So I'm glad you're joining myself, Rory McCusker, and all of us at Curling Stadium this weekend, keeping up with your favorite teams. Okay, fifth rock of the end. My favorite one. Really nice come around. These are good angles for yellow, especially without hammer. Brennan Botcher hoping to clear just the single guard. As of right now, Team Gushue is lying 1 with another rock in a pretty good position in the top of the forefoot. So Brad is totally satisfied with just peeling the guard. It's the most dangerous stone right now. And Team Gushue playing with a lead. Really tough to get back in the game. They just make such safe shots. They know the right way to miss. Brad himself, very patient and very patient skip. Doesn't need to win the game right now. Always happy with carrying an advantage over to the next end. Another garden peel. I imagine we'll see this over and over again for a few stones at least. This is the time where commentators would filibuster for a bit, try to tell stories or talk about random stuff, but I don't have a partner, so I would just be talking to myself. That's all I've been doing anyway, so why not continue? Let's check the chat while we're in our guard peel replacement session. A lot of Go Team Gushues in the chat I'm seeing. Valerie Sampson, Devils Lake, North Dakota. Interesting, Valerie. Do you have a connection to this team? That's my boy, she says. Fantastic. Thanks for tuning in, Val. I drove by Devil's Lake, North Dakota. I drive by it every time I want to go to Minneapolis to visit John Benton and our curling stadium crew in the U.S. Cameron Rittenauer as well. So I drive through Devil's Lake. That's usually where I get gas. My last kind of stop before the border. So that's fun stuff. Small world, small curling world. Well, Ethan's been shooting very well this game. Very challenging shots, but when you're playing a team like Gushue, that's what you got to expect. See Jeff Casper on the chat as well. Come on, Team Sampson. Oh, I just love the USA curling culture, you guys. Can't wait every year that when I get to come down for the USA national events. Had a great time in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, doing the juniors this spring. A really good time. I loved it so much, I brought my fiance down to spend a few days there this summer. Just a really excited, warm, and loud and proud USA curling community. Can't get enough of it. Okay, discussion time for Gushue. It'll be Mark's last stone. This has been the situation in the 4-foot since the fifth stone at the end was thrown. We've just been peeling and guarding ever since. Both teams kind of fast-forwarding to decision time, and Gushue's just taking a minute to decide, is this the time we come into the rings? I don't think it will be, though. I'd be letting Team Sampson make something happen in the 4-foot there. Brad's always going to have either a double or some kind of run back on his own red. And they are shot right now, after all. No need to change this. Will be a single peel for Mark Nichols. Made peel. I'm being reminded in the chat, Stephen Parsons, Gushue's on a 4-game losing streak right now. And yeah, if we count last event that they played, that could very well be true. I haven't confirmed that, but Stephen also sharing, I think Botcher should throw third. I believe Gushue is a little off having Botcher sweep his shots. I think switching those guys would make this team elite again. Yeah, it's a good thought. Right when Botcher joined the team, I know there's some chatter of like, is he going to sweep 6 rocks? Is he going to be in the rings? I think Nichols and Gushue just have such a good rapport together. I'd be hesitant to break up that the Nichols-Gushue combo in the rings. Brad's just had that voice with him for so long, and they're already so comfortable throwing this way. I don't think taking Mark out of the house is a good idea, but it's a totally valid opinion. And when you're combining the best shooters in the world and trying to optimize the lineup beyond that, kind of reminds me of baseball, Moneyball type stuff. Like, well, I want this batting order, but how do I make these guys work on the field? Very similar in the way that you're organizing yourselves in the positional aspects of curling. So yellow on yellow. One yellow is going to roll out. Bit of a desperation play from Team Sampson. I might have just kind of come in and frozen another one in there. Like, you're pretty happy with Gushue scoring 1, I would think. All that did was really open it up for Gushue. May have reduced the chances of Gushue getting 2, so I can see that thinking. End of the day, I'm an amateur curler and a sports broadcaster. If these guys make a decision, it's likely for a very good reason. Not trying to be the type of commentator that wants to criticize and analyze strategy and tactical decisions. I like watching the game and thinking about the game, trying to understand why teams do certain things in certain scenarios. Also, very keenly aware that trends are always switching around in curling. I always want to track what the best teams are doing because they might be ahead of the curve a little bit on certain aspects of things. Brad Gushue not facing a lot of danger. He'll hit and roll to lie 2. Here in the 4th end against Team Sampson, Chaska, Minnesota. Rolls it really nicely. There's a double there, but it's pretty flat, pretty long. I think they have to take it on. No other choice, really. This will be big weight, kind of hit and roll, push the other red stone out the side of the rings. I've been talking a lot about Team Sampson, USA Curling. Now let me address the Newfoundlanders on the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Eliza Gibbons watching from Plum Point, Newfoundland. Thank you for broadcasting. Well, thanks for tuning in, Eliza. That's yet another amazing Newfoundland town name. If you just go to a map of Newfoundland, start reading out town names, you'll have a really good time. Scotfridge Jim from Glasgow, Scotland, tuning in. Michelle Ellis, Newfoundland, going for T. Gushue, Cy Crocker. Nellie Burt, thanks for tuning in and saying something on the chat. Team Sampson throws it hard enough with enough rotation, but just gets it a little too thin. They blow by the second Gushue stone. That's going to be a wide open draw for two for Team Gushue. It was a pretty tough double. You had to throw it really hard with a lot of action on the stone. Push that red rock all the way out of the rings and, you know, missed his spot by less than an inch, I would say. Last rock here. N2. It'll be a routine sweep to the 8-foot for Walker and Botcher. Just keeping this one clean. They'll want to show Brad T-line weight here. And that's what they'll do. Nice and quick in the fourth end. Settles in right at the back of the button. Or it might even be right on the pin. Right on the T-line, I should say. It's a 5-2 lead for Gushue in the driver's seat. Team Sampson will try to fight back in the fifth. We return.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Well, it's a deuce to respond by Gushue. Big third end from Team Sampson, getting 2 points on the board. Got their guard and got their kind of mess in the forefoot that Team Sampson was looking for in the fourth end, but kind of bailed on that strategy with the first rock from Sampson. He ended up playing a hit, a kind of run double, removed one red, one yellow, and rolled his shooter to a kind of useless position. So that shot didn't quite work out for them. I was wondering if they would draw in again and try to lock away that Gushue stone. But choose to hit. Had a double on his next one to lie to and force Team Gushue, but threw it just a little thin. There it was. Brad Gushue with a really nice hit and roll on his first one and an open draw on his second one for 2 points. Both skips have been playing quite well. Good shot making from both of them. I think the difference right now is the middle of the lineup for Team Gushue, just getting more things set up. Team Sampson playing a lot of run backs and tougher shots as a result. And that's kind of how it works in curling. Each stone, each member of the team just tries to gain a little bit more of an advantage over their counterpart. By the time it's third and skip stones, one team's playing really tough shots, the other team's playing more or less easier ones. And that's been the story of the game and why Gushue is up 3 points in the fifth. We've got 1,000 viewers with us right now. Thank you so much for tuning into Curling Stadium and supporting Curling Stadium. Really linking to our pages, Curling Zone's web page and Curling Stadium's YouTube page. Linking to those on social media, sending it to your friends and family. And of course, liking and subscribing to the page. That lets YouTube know that live curling is something that people care about. It'll help show it to even more people. Helps our ads kind of maximize so we can pay for operators like myself and for new camera installs, all sorts of audio equipment. Everything we make goes forward into improving the product. So thank you so much for supporting Curling Stadium, telling people that you're spending your weekend watching curling on YouTube. Spread the word. We get bigger and bigger every year, and this season is set to be our most popular yet. So if you enjoy 3 produced games on the ice right now at once, wow, even TSN isn't doing that. Continue to support us, and we really appreciate you. Okay. Back to curling. Team Gushue has 3 pretty good stones in the center of the house. No center guard, but that's okay. Up 3. I doubt Gushue wants to play with too many guards in the first place. This is about to become a hit fest for Team Gushue. Anything yellow will be targeted. So the goal for Team Sampson right now is to hide their stones, get them in front of Gushue rocks, get them behind the guards that are on the sheet right now. So this is a hit call, but the objective isn't really to remove red stones. Managing the shooter is the most important part here. Nice little hit and roll. Really nice manageable soft weight that they threw there. Made sure that the sweepers had a big effect on the stone and that they could control the roll. That yellow stone's more likely to stick around in the rings by the end of it. Brad sees an open yellow stone, so he's going to hit that one. Just a question of managing where he's going to roll to. Mark Nichols' first rock. Hits the stone, rolls over, maybe a bit more grouped together than he would have liked, but a fine shot. Yeah, I was wondering if Sampson might take advantage of this opportunity to get rid of all 3 reds. If you're satisfied with scoring 2, I think that's the play. If you want to keep 3 in the conversation, I think you have to draw to them or draw underneath the guard right now. But I like this call. It's a very natural way to get rid of those red stones, leave 2 yellows in the rings with a corner guard. Pretty good chances of scoring 2, staying in the conversation here. That's what they'll do. Gotta get this top red just high side of nose. 1, 2. Doesn't quite get all 3 to go. Kind of got it backwards, I think. So did some camera switching during that shot. Sorry, folks. Missed the explosion. But 2 rocks in the rings, both of them buried. Pretty darn good scenario for Team Sampson. Brad's already looking at a potential run back. That's a lot more difficult than he thought he'd be throwing. Mark Nichols really accurate on the broom with these types of shots. Expect him to be close. Jeff's on this right away. Gets the 1. Bashes it back, removes the yellow stone. Doesn't quite roll for second shot, but that would have been just a bonus anyway. Keeps a guard around. Not sure how big of an issue that is right now, but definitely not ideal. They can't promote their red rock anymore. Like I said, if you're satisfied with 2, there's nothing wrong with getting this basically right on the nose. Yeah, a little roll towards center line might be okay, but you're never going to really hide your shooter here unless it's behind the corner guard setup. That'll leave a run double, which just out of respect to your opponent, you got to assume they're going to make. So single hit and stick, tiny roll to the center line is going to be perfect. Just keeping the dream of 2 alive, which I'm sure Brad will kind of let you have. He's not going to play anything too risky to try and eliminate both of these stones. Brad is okay with giving up 2 here as long as he carries can't hammer with 1 point into the 6th end and scores there. Gonna put him in a really good spot. Now the decision is, what's easier to roll to? Easier to roll high side underneath the yellow stones, or is it easier to roll all the way across the rings into the back 8? If they roll into the back 8, it's something to draw to for Team Sampson. So my guess is that he'll roll broom side just a few feet. Just playing it safe here is Brad Gushue. Making sure to make the obvious shots, not taking on any unnecessary risk. Pretty nice bounce back end once again from Team Sampson with hammer. Outside of the steal of 2 they gave up in the second end, they've been pretty efficient in these ends with hammer. Wow, Jeff really held that rock for a nice roll. Powerful sweep from Jeff Walker. Just checking in on the chat, I'm seeing a lot of Team Sampson fans. See, that's why you chime in on the chat. You'd think that, you know, with 1,100 now watching now, most of them would be Gushue fans, but no, check out that chat. Lots of USA curling. Pope is watching from Maplewood, Minnesota. Go Sampson. A lot of Gushue fans still making their voices heard on the chat, but don't be afraid. Chime in. Let us know what you think of these calls, these shots, how these teams are playing. It's really fun to read other curlers' opinions on what you're seeing. Sweepers are signaling a little up weight. Looks like they are going for a bit of a roll underneath the corner guard setup. Hits it, rolls it. Really nice shot. That's going to be a really difficult chase for Brad Gushue. Wow. Really nice shot at a really nice time. We've seen Sampson throw a lot of kind of touch weight hit and rolls. Good rotation. Very well managed. And he gets the perfect roll there. Good call by Coleman Thurston as well. Really tough look. Run double where you're running the opponent's stone into the pile. So that means all 3 yellows have to leave the rings. He's going to catch this just inside a nose. Brad Gushue with a potential highlight reel opportunity. If he misses, it's going to be a draw for 3. A little bit outside. He's going to make contact with something. 1 yellow, 2, 3. Stuffs the guard into the rings. Unfortunately, it's going to be no change in the result of this 5th end. It's going to be a draw for 3 to tie up this game. What a bounce back from the young American squad. Really well-earned 3-point opportunity here. Brad played the whole end to just hit the obvious one, leaving the door open for Team Sampson to make riskier calls and set something up, and that's what they've done. Wide open draw for 2 last end for Brad. Wide open draw for 3 now for Team Sampson. Ethan hasn't thrown a pure draw since, I think, the 2nd end. But he's been keeping hog times, no doubt, keeping track of the speed, and this is no mistake. Going to put it right on the tee line. Sweepers guided in. 3 points for Team Sampson. It's a tie game after 5. Gushue will have hammer in this all-important 6th end.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Welcome back. It is not the last rock. We've just come off a Sampson 3 ball. It's now tied. Nice looking come around. It is Team Gushue with hammer in this tie game scenario. All important 6 end. If you look at the winning percentages of teams that have a lead after 6, it's quite significant. So both of these teams will work really hard on scoring. Team Sampson will lay out for the steal, I predict. And Team Gushue, just the opposite, will do everything they can to prevent a steal. They're okay with scoring 1 here in 6. Of course, 2 or more is best, but even just scoring a single point in the 6th end puts you in a really good percentage bracket of winning the game. Fifth rock of the end, you have to know Appeal is coming next. So eerily similar to the 4th end, this setup is looking. Ooh, they have to get this by. Big miss. You never want to tick your own center guard without hammer. Definitely a wasted opportunity there. Oh. Brad smells blood in the water. The book would say, you know, the dealer's handbook would say Peel here. But Brad sees an opportunity, wants to create an angle with Brennan's first shot here. So calling the out-turn come around. You must see a good chance here. I thought they'd peel for sure. Pretty important rock. Got to get this right where Brad's broom was. You don't want to... There's a lot of ways you can miss here that opens the door for Team Sampson to take advantage of their center guard. Looks really close. Jeff is sweeping for curl. Weight looks really nice. Can they get by the top yellow? They do. Brad looks somewhat unsatisfied. Not sure why. Brennan put that stone about where Brad was signaling. May have missed just a little bit outside, rolled a little further off than Brad wanted to, but geez, if the margin was that tight, you got to wonder why he was so confident coming in the first place. Still advantage Gushue. I would say those angles in the 8-foot and 4-foot are favoring Gushue. That the red stone on the top of the button is totally inaccessible. Just got another fun comment in the chat to share with you from Maura McCarthy. She says she loves her favorite Canadian men's curlers, Team Gushue, but she's got to cheer for Team Sampson. The lead, Morris, began his curling journey at Cape Cod Curling Club, cheering you from Falmouth and Marston Mills, Massachusetts. M.A., Massachusetts? Is that Massachusetts or Maine? Not so good with my American abbreviations. That's a fun comment, very loving. And yeah, it's always fun to see youth curlers that we helped foster love in the game for continue on into their adulthood. I've got a couple graduates from the Curl for Kids program here in Regina, Saskatchewan myself. I love seeing them around the rink. It's a great feeling. Thumbs up. Real nice shot. That clears out most of the danger from Team Gushue. You now have 3 yellow stones kind of in the scoring area or lanes. Massive shot there from Team Sampson. And now Gushue will have to deal with the danger. That's the potential in the 4-foot that he was seeing with Brendan's first one. No longer there. But here we go. Another draw shot. Team Gushue's all in here in the 6th end. Ignoring the center guard, wants to get one in there. Such a tight port. A lot of trust being shown in Brendan right now. Gets the port, gets the tap, rolls his shooter. And that rock is clean out of the rings. Is a fantastic result. A difficult ask from Skip Brad Gushue and a perfect response and make from Brendan Botcher. Geez, I'd be tempted to follow that one in if I was Team Sampson. I know you don't want to tick your center guard, but if this run back is missed, it is major, major trouble for Team Sampson. You have to plant this yellow one right on the nose of the red. I don't even think you can lose the runner and be okay in this situation. So big shot, responding with a big shot. Gushue and Sampson trying to trade blows. It's Coleman Thurston's time to make a big one. Looks really close. Sweeper's on it. It's going to over-curl. Goes right through the port. Ends up guarding Gushue's stone in the back of the 8-foot. Not a good result, but to be fair, there was really no good way to miss that. You had to either make it or bust on that shot. Risk management call from Gushue. He's already lying 2 in the rings. Little hit and flop on the tight guard. Definitely want to roll this into the rings. This is just going to stick right on the nose. There we go. A nice sweep from Jeff Walker. Gets that rock moving a little bit more. They curl it to the top 12. Gushue facing no danger and 3 counters in the rings. That's the thing about the 6th end. You have to play it so aggressively for Team Sampson. That really flipped on them fast. In 2 stones, they went from 3 rocks in the control zone to 0. Got some heat on this one. Is it going to catch the back one? It will. Double takeouts made. Pretty good results. That is an ignorable stone for Gushue at this point. Now they have a corner guard. They have shot rock in the back of the rings. This is now the hunt for 2 points for Team Gushue. It'd be a big score. That would allow them to give up 2 in the 7th and still be tied with Hammer coming home, which is every skip's goal, I would think. I would hope. Well, I was enjoying checking the chat, people, but now you're all bragging about what beach you're on. In Puerto Plata. We want to see Gushue win it in 7 so we can go outside from Jim T. You know what, Jim? It was minus 28 in Regina 2 days ago. I'm not in the mood to read that comment, sir. Morris correcting me. MA is Massachusetts, ME is Maine. Should have known. She's cheering from the sandbar. I can't imagine the sandbar in Massachusetts is very warm right now either. Still fun stuff. Love hearing from where you guys are tuning in from. Keep the comments coming. Gushue puts his draw right in the 8-foot. That's the exact depth they were looking for. It may have over-curled a shade. Sampson sort of has an opportunity to freeze to the back one. They'd really be playing with fire there. Because if they'd have to be right on it. And even still, Gushue could come tap you himself and set up a 3 or 4 that way. So, gonna play it a little safer. Still a hard shot, but a little better of a result. He's able to bash this rock right on the nose. It's going to be a double takeout and 2 yellow stones in the ring, so a fantastic result if he's able to make it. Ethan's had a great game so far. Let's see if he can make another really nice shot. Keep his young American squad in a tie game scenario against one of the best in the world, Team Gushue. Sweeper's on this right out of his hand. It's going to get the top one. It's going to blow by the 2 reds. That does expose the 2 reds for a double takeout on his next rock, but geez, really would have liked to make contact there. Even better yet, get it right on the nose, make the double takeout. So a lot of good that could have happened from that shot. Wasn't able to cash in on most of the opportunity. It's going to be Gushue line 3 if he can make this draw. Not super important where he puts this. The only place you can't put it is behind the tee line. Team Sampson is very likely to take on that straight double we see on the left side of the screen. So as long as Gushue's kind of 8 foot or better, semi-buried, pretty wide area that he could put this and still feel good about it. Feel free to tune in to any other game on the ice right now. We have everything streaming on Curling Zone's YouTube page, but I'll update you on some scores. It's Team Knapp beating Team Height 5-1. Those are 2 Saskatchewan teams. Dropkin taking on McEwen. They're in a 2-2 tie in the 5th end. That looks like a really fun one. Epping is 6-2 over Jacobs in the 5th end. That's a bit of a surprise. Not that Epping's winning, but just by that much. This is really having some trouble curling for Team Gushue. It is really deep. They're going to take this all the way back, and that is a shocking, shocking miss. It was not even close. About 10 feet heavy. Ends up in a harmless spot that's going to lie 3 like they wanted, and a freeze on that stone doesn't hurt them. So kind of got away with one there. Just to finish up our score updates, it's Dunstone leading Carruthers 3-2 in the 6th end. 2 Manitoba-based teams. So lots of fantastic curling on the ice. Just listen to some of those names. Dunstone, Carruthers, Jacobs, Epping, McEwen, Dropkin, Gushue, all on the ice in the same draw at a tour event in Western Canada. That's what Curling Stadium and the Swift Curling Club have done in just 4 years. Created one of the most premier events in the world. So hats off to Chris Heikert, Jason Bratton, the ice maker, and all of you for tuning in and making this an important part of your weekend. So it's the double takeout that we had established before. Basically right on the nose, going to get rid of 2 Gushue stones, hold them to a shot for 2 here in the 6th. Big shot from Ethan Sampson. Looks real close. Might be trying to get it over top now. It's definitely a little high side. So unlucky. He's going to blow it right through the hole. Would have been really nice to get one of those 2 Gushue stones. But instead, misses a little high side. May have been a little too early on the sweep. They could have jumped that one. I noticed the straight sweeper was on it right away. Couldn't quite make the decision of going for plan B. And tell me if this sounds familiar. It's a wide open draw for multiple. This is the 3rd end in a row that we've seen either skip work their way to a pretty easy shot for 2 or 3. Gushue might want to take a couple pounds off of this one. Almost threw it through the rings last time. Looks like he will be using the sweepers a little better on this 2nd attempt. Nice easy sweep has turned into a pretty hard clean. They will get it to the top 8, top 4. That's 3 points for Team Gushue. We've seen this young American Sampson team fight back a few times in this game. They'll need another effort in the 7th, trailing by 3.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Welcome back. 7th end. It's a huge score, 3 for Gushue. That's the second 3-ball we've seen scored this game. Both teams playing quite well. It's just a matter of who's going to make the big run back or the big double and hit and roll, who's going to make the tiny mistake on their come around and leave an opportunity for the next guy. It's definitely not a dominant performance from Gushue. Some misses, some missed line, and Brad and Mark in their earlier game just couldn't quite get the broom in the right spot. Mark's had quite a good game, I guess. So has Brad. That miss in 7 he got away with, but that draw came quite deep. So still some paths on the ice that are tricking the Canadian squad. I fully expect them to adjust and get better throughout the week and to be playing pretty deep into Monday. A lot of good teams out here, though. It's anyone's game. Playoffs on Monday should be elite. If you don't have the day booked off work, you might want to consider calling in sick, because that's going to be some incredible men's finals. Women's finals, of course, hit the ice on Sunday. So, 2.5 full days of really high caliber curling we have ahead of us. I, for one, am very excited. The 4th rock of the end sails down the ice. Touch shy, but gets behind the corner guard in the top 12 foot. About as good as they could ask for. I thought they might throw 2 corner guards, but no. Lots of teams opting, even when they're down quite a few, just come around that first corner. They don't want to give up the middle that easy. Looks like Brad's asking for a pretty tough chase from Brendan Botcher. Let's get it from both angles here. Gonna have to throw this just perfect in order to boop the yellow draw out of the rings. I'm not even sure he can get it out of the rings. A little tick of the corner guard is acceptable. What you don't want to do is really overcurl and violate the free guard zone rule. So Team Sampson will sweep this yellow rock as hard as they can to the sideboards. And it will successfully get there. So now they have to replace the guard. Mark is trying to help him out, but of course, Team Sampson gets to decide exactly where that goes. I think they put it back exactly perfect, though. So no real harm, Gushue there. It's as if they didn't even throw the rock. So they tried a tough chase, knowing that the best solution was just to not leave their shooter in a troublesome spot. That's what happened. Pretty significant overcurl from Brennan there, but Gushue would have been icing him pretty tight to make sure some yellow rock moved. Okay. I thought we might see some hyper-aggressive play from Team Sampson, but no. Looks like they're going to make this kind of board weight, move the Reds. The Reds are in a pretty good spot. I thought they'd wait a little longer in the end before moving them. This call shows me that Team Sampson's okay with only scoring 2 and trying to steal in the 8th end. I thought they'd really, really go for 3, and that way the steal in 8 would be for the win instead of just a tie, an extra, and another chance where they'd have to steal. Ultimate sin in throwing with hammer down points is rolling your shooter out. You have to keep your shooter either in the rings or in a useful spot. Team Sampson fails to do so. So Brandon's going to throw an easy single peel. Going to have no problem making that. Looks like a replacement of the guard. Guard is kind of your lifeline when you're trying to score points. So without a guard, it's not going to go very well. Looks like we had a bit of a light switch issue, power outage in the rink. Might have been someone's kid just playing with the light switch. But the city of Swift Current having a great time with this tournament. They always do. Even over the years, my parents have curled competitively in Swift Current, and Joan McCusker, my mom, would always say that in Swift, regular people would come out to watch a curl, even people who didn't really know much about curling, but the arena would always be full. So that's a great compliment to Swift Current as a host city. And I myself always have a great time curling there. Chris Heichert is a fantastic club manager. Jason Bratton makes awesome ice. Mitch Meekin helps out sometimes. A lot of young support staff. Jason's getting interested in ice making. Takes all these different elements, professionals, volunteers, and committed community members to make events like this work. Swift Current really has the magic formula right now. Of course, RBC Dominion Securities for sponsoring the event, title sponsor. That's a big commitment, and thank you for supporting local and international events coming to southwestern Saskatchewan like this. I don't know when else you would have a tournament with this many international teams and, decorated the top 20 teams in the world. Many of them are right here in Swift Current. So we do this little dance of peel and replace and peel and replace and guard and peel, guard and peel. So this will continue, I would bet, at least one more rock. And then on Sampson skip stones, you'll have to make something happen in the rings. That red rock will have to go away eventually. I'm hoping for a pure miss here. Brennan Botcher and Mark Nichols are not going to miss many peels, so. And they're not going to get so lucky here. That one was pretty thin, but had a piece of a rock the whole way. You can see Brennan and Mark kind of trading a bit of a laugh there. Ooh, that was close. Coleman's final stone. One more guard, as predicted. I'm sure it'll be another peel for Brad Gushue, unless, of course, they might want to take on the run back. Well, that looks like ice for a run back. They've thrown 4 peels in a row down this spot, so, or 3, I guess. Brad's quite confident he knows what this is doing. And of course, if they just rip the one guard, there's nothing wrong with that. Only thing you can't do here is get on the high side of the guard, run it back into your own red, but he will make sure to miss inside if nothing else. Looks really close. Right on the nose, gets the top one, rips it out of the rings. It's a good result from Team Gushue. Sampson will draw around that corner guard, so, you know, the reward isn't that great for making it that way. I'm sure they were trying to make the run back the opposite way, where they rolled the shooter kind of off. But still a great result. Brad was able to clear a yellow stone. 2 yellow stones, I guess, if you think about it that way. So now this draw will have to be perfect. And the reward will be a maximum of 2 points for Team Sampson. Going to come up way light on this draw. 7th end. Ice might be changing a bit. That path hasn't really been drawn to that I can remember. Kind of edge of the 4-foot ice crossing center. So it may have caught some different ice, some ice that had been sitting for a while. Or he just missed light. Not too sure, but either way, not good enough. That's going to almost seal the game for Team Gushue. Now, I know I'm calling it a bit early, but if you go to curlingzone.com/analytics, you can see 2 down without hammer. Your margin of your percentage chance of winning is 1 or 2%, maybe. In fact, you'll see a lot of teams even concede at that point. I'd like to see teams play it out a little bit more. You never know what's going to happen. Give yourself an opportunity to make 8 shots. Maybe you get 1 or even 2 misses from the opponent, and then, you know, something lucky happens. Yeah, 2 points down without hammer last season on the men's tour was a record of 5 and 299. So that's 299 times the team 2 up with hammer won, and only 5 times of those 304 where the team down 2 without was able to pull it off. So Brad's going to put his rock in the rings, make sure that there's no blank attempt available. Interestingly enough, if Team Sampson were to blank this end, go 3 points down with hammer, their percentage goes up to 3.1, up from 1.6 to 3.1 if they get the blank versus taking 1. So that same draw path that Sampson just had some trouble with, Botcher and Walker had to scrub pretty hard the whole way just to get a bite of the 8-foot. So I am suspecting that that draw path was a little slower than the sort of draw to the button path. Team Sampson got caught on it. Team Gushue was able to learn from it, and even still needed some help getting there. So a hit for 1 point is what I can assume this shot is. And like we had discussed, very long odds. Team Sampson. Nice control weight. broom down to clean. This will get the nose. It will be a score of 1 for Team Sampson. We had just discussed the odds. 5 wins, 299 losses men's teams had in this situation. Let's see if Team Sampson can become win number 6. We return for the 8th end.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind. From pre-seed to post-harvest, you can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Sasktel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? Sasktel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back to Swift Current, Saskatchewan. My name is Rory McCusker, live streamer for Curling Stadium. I'm your camera operator, switcher, scoreboard guy, and lone commentator. Thanks for joining me today. We find ourselves in the 8th end. It's been a well-played game by both teams. Lots of points scored, but some really significant shots made that kind of flipped certain ends a certain way. Team Sampson has played quite well with hammer. They gave up a steal of 2 in the second end. That really got them behind the 8 ball. But since then, they've went tit for tat with Team Gushue, even scoring 3 points in the 4th end. They did let Gushue answer, or in the 5th end they scored 3 points. Sorry, they let Gushue answer with 2, and then in the 7th couldn't make something happen. Came up light on his first draw. Ethan Sampson did. Was forced to a single point. So now with 1 corner guard, 1 Gushue stone in the rings for Team Sampson to use, they're going to have to try and make 2 to tie the game. And Brad has last rock, so it's a tall order. The mission for now is just to put rocks up front in a place where Gushue can't double peel. With no center guard at this point, you're unlikely to hide your rocks behind anything. You're going to need a miss from Gushue on his last one. The whole goal here is to somehow be lying 2 in the rings and just force Gushue to throw that last stone. Next door on sheet 5, Team Knapp has defeated Height. Those are 2 Saskatchewan teams. Knapp will play the winner of this game here at 5:45 p.m. later today. Brad wastes no time putting the broom down, asking Brendan Botcher to peel this Single yellow rock. It will be no prob for botch. And we are likely to be looking at this same scenario for a few shots in a row now. Ethan Sampson looking at the rings, just trying to conjure some way to make Team Gushue's shots even slightly more difficult. I think at this point, there's not much you can do besides just hope they miss a center guard peel. And then if it was me, on Ethan's first skip stone, I'd be playing a freeze to the back red, hoping that shot would be unremovable. And then lie 2 on my second one, hope for a pure miss from Brad. That's about as much as they can hope for right now. But it will be another center guard for now. Lobs it up there. Positioning on this isn't super important. You know it's going to be peeled anyhow. If you somehow get a miss, you want room on either side to draw around it as well. So nothing wrong with that placement. Botcher, peel number 2. Brad's not even coming all the way out to hold the broom. Oh, really thin, but gets the guard nonetheless. And Ethan Sampson will choose to mix it up right now. Just trying to get creative, you know? You just respect your opponent's ability so much. Maybe just put it in a slightly stranger spot. It's going to force Team Gushue to peel the top yellow stone. Fairly delicate throw, just trying to throw a low guard. Something close to the rings. Get some separation between this one and the high one. Just do anything you can to tempt Gushue into making a more risky play, such as a double peel or perhaps even a run back. That's going to go deep into the rings. That's really nothing wrong with it. Doesn't really matter which one of these Team Gushue hits as long as one yellow goes away and Mark's shooter rolls out. Just trying to trade stone for stone here. That's how the math has been working ever since the lead rocks. Eliminate one, replace one is a fine enough trade. Does his job, gets rid of that rock. Now it's kind of decision time for Team Sampson. Do they play the freeze on the red right now, or do they throw another guard? Oh, am I getting excited here? I think I lost one too many stones. Yep, third still have a rock left. My mistake. It all just happened so fast. This will be the final third stone. Team Sampson. One more guard makes a lot of sense. It will surely be peeled. Even the last shot, Brad took a good long look at chasing the one in the rings. This time, no decision. Just out right away for the peel. No mistakes from Botcher and Nichols, once again, making their defensive shots perfectly. I think it's time to freeze to the red one. Let Brad hit the open yellow. Return the hit, lie two, and hope for a pick. That's the way I see this shaking down. It's important to make these two shots. You fought this hard to have a chance against Team Gushue, one of the best in the world. You've played quite a good game. A few mistakes here and there, but really the missed double by Ethan and light draw in the 7th end. I can't really remember much more misses than that. Is he throwing an intern here? It is. It's an intern. Must be another guard. Yeah, as long as you're confident Gushue's going to peel this, there's no harm in that. Make the freeze on your next one. But unless Brad misses a peel here, I don't think there's a world where... Well, here, I'll say it in the positive inflection. Brad's going to have an open hit just to remove a stone for the win. As long as he makes this peel, that's going to be the case no matter what. So at that point, it's really just about making sure you lie 2 or maybe even more until that point. I guess there's no wrong call. Freeze on the red or guard, it's going to do the same thing. Brad's going to hit what he can see. It's just whether or not you make the freeze on your first one or your second one. I guess I'd prefer to make it on my first one. But Brad Gushue in the hack, 2-point lead with hammer. No mistake. Cleans that off. Into the boards. Avoids hitting their own. That is 5 made peels in a row. Team Gushue. Very impressive stuff. I guess if you count last end too, you'd call it 9 made peels in a row. Well, nowhere to hide. You got to put this in the rings. Choosing to freeze to their own. Not too sure why. In my mind, that just makes the target a little bigger. I'd be freezing to the red one all day. Let Brad hit the open one. Then it's only 1 rock length. They might know this draw path a little better. Or, it could be all sorts of reasons. Nowhere to hide, really. Just got to put this in the rings. Hope Gushue misses. Again, a solid game against one of the best opponents that you can ever ask for. Team Sampson, I will have my eye on you during USA Nationals in Duluth, Minnesota, coming up later in this spring. Should be a very fun event. Sweeper's guiding this in. Want to make your target as thin as possible. Taps off. I would say not ideal. That's quite a big area of yellow stones that Gushue can hit. Gonna end up throwing about the same path as his peel, maybe slightly closer to the center line, but this inside out has behaved quite straight. Should be a routine rip for Brad Gushue for his first win of this event, and from what I understand, snapping a little bit of a losing streak. Last rock, 8th end. They made him throw it. Team Sampson fought hard, but barring a pick or anything weird happening here, this is going to be a hit. Like Brad's rock will settle in. It will be 1 point on the board for Team Gushue. Or will it? Who knows? Gushue will move on. They'll play Team Nap at 5:45 local. That's 6:45 Eastern. Right here on Curling Stadium. My name's Rory McCusker. Thank you so much for tuning in, chiming in on the chat, and having fun with me this afternoon, watching some high-quality curling. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and we'll see you later for more Curling Stadium from Swift Current. Bye-bye.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. And Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.